So with that, I want to introduce Jeff Lockwood, who is faculty at the University of Wyoming. He's director of the creative writing program. He is also an insect ecologist. Talk about the most perfect combination to conceive a program like you're about to see today. And so with that, Jeff, I'd like to hand things over to you. And thank you all.
Well, thank you. It's a delight having been here for 11 days, I believe is our count. Let me just give you an introduction to what's going to happen today. The Ucross-Pollination Experiment is a joke. Well, at least it's like a joke. And that's because when I tell people about it, they either get it or they don't. And if I try to explain it like trying to explain a joke, it really doesn't help. So here's the joke. 4 scientists and 4 artists walk into a bar. The bartender lines up bottles of ecology, geology, physiology, microbiology, dance, sculpture, music, and poetry, along with glasses shaped to hold playfulness, intimacy, confusion, and urgency. Then he tells them to make themselves a drink. After hours of struggling, listening, thrashing, doubting, and imagining, the pairs make messes, concoct mixtures, and conjure conceptual cocktails in the most gloriously unexpected ways. And then, well, today's the punchline. We sought support for this grand experiment from various sources. And those who grasp the wonderful absurdity of not merely interdisciplinary work, but transdisciplinary engagement, well, they got it. They didn't know what the punchline was going to be, but they knew it was going to be something remarkable, even with the absurd, even somewhat ridiculous constraint of having just days to do what normally takes months to bring to completion. What's more, this experiment is not a matter of scientists telling artists about the world and artists making things. Now, that would have been too easy. Instead, it's about their being more fully human, about caring deeply about their work and lives and each other, about their having depths of knowledge and mountains of humility, and about their practicing the art of listening and the science of learning, so that definitions and boundaries didn't matter. And so who understood the joke? Well, the folks at Ucross, the Wyoming Humanities Council, Saturday University, that lovely conspiracy of Sheridan College and UW. But others just shook their heads, unable to laugh at the confusion, grasp the constraints, or imagine the outcome. And I must admit that the grounds for their rejections, and I had proposals soundly rejected, well, the grounds were entirely justified. And in fact, here are the 3 central reasons that this venture should not be deemed worthy of funding. And exactly why we're doing it. First, grant reviewers said the methods of the project were vague and the results were uncertain. Damn right. But then there are 2 ways of engaging uncertainty and possibility. When I refereed high school basketball, the rule book was about 50 pages long. I had a friend who umpired baseball, and his rule book was more like 300 pages. You see, in baseball, everything is specified for the umpire, but in basketball, the referee is trusted to use judgment in applying the principles of the game. Our project is a lot more like basketball than baseball. We have assembled creative, smart, collaborative, and kind people, given them general ideas about the game, and then let them play. Second, potential funders struggle to fit the project into a clear niche. Some thought it was performance art. Some perceived it to be fuzzy humanities. Nobody mistook it for science. I've come to understand that defining art and science and humanities is mostly a fool's errand. What we're exploring is not unambiguously any of these, although of the 3 it's closest to the humanities. That is, if we understand the humanities to be the exploration of what it means to be human. The project is the labor of striving to be fully human, to be richly rational, empirical, emotive, intuitive, and spiritual beings. And maybe that is the humanities. If not, then call it whatever you want. Third, our critics found the proposal to be, in their words, an and I have a quote here, grandiose. How could a group of faculty from UW reshape the way in which people think and act, the forms of university research and creativity, the very foundations of academia? The reviewers doubted that we could revolutionize the fragmented and hyper-specialized structures of our culture, nor, I suspect, were they convinced that such reforms were actually necessary. But we might change the University of Wyoming, or at least our own programs, courses, and work. Maybe we are being too big for our britches in imagining that UW might make a difference, and in believing that we can be part of, maybe even lead, a change in how complex problems are perceived and addressed in the modern world. In the end, I'd suggest that a delusion of grandeur beats the disillusion of mediocrity. And so on behalf of my colleagues, I offer those gathered here our deepest and most sincere thanks. You got it. You believed, you trusted, and you have given us a gift which we may never be able to fully repay. Thank you.
The Ucross-Pollination Experiment was sponsored by the Ucross Foundation, the Wyoming Humanities Council, Saturday University, the UW Biodiversity Institute, the UW Department of Philosophy, the UW Program in Creative Writing, and the UW Institute for Humanities Research.